everybody, and welcome to this edition of The Flow. This edition is going to be absolutely special. First of all, we'd like to thank everybody who has been listening to The Flow. It is fun to see the interactions that we're getting, the questions that we're getting on Volley, the questions that we're getting on email. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please drop over to the Apple version of the podcast and leave us a review. That's on the iTunes podcast app. You can leave us a review. Any podcast you're listening to, that is the absolute best way to show love for your favorite podcast is to leave a review on Apple iTunes Store. I don't know why that review counts more than anything else. It just does. Just does. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so we're going to dive in today. We got a really, really special show. I'm going to introduce you to 5 of my friends, and they have a podcast they put together, and we're going to talk about the ins and outs of such a large podcast and how they pulled it all together. We're going to talk about their flow. Welcome to this edition of The Flow. Once again, I am Doc Rocket, community manager for Ecamm. Let me introduce you to the Creators Pod. Ladies and gentlemen, Creators Pod. Yay! The crowd goes wild.
What's up, y'all?
Okay, so the way this works is for the people who are watching, I have all of them on screen. Keely to my left, Michelle to my right, Rich directly under Keely, Dina under me, and Alec under Michelle. If you're not watching this, you're probably going to want to catch this one on the YouTube channel, which is Ecamm Live on YouTube, and just watch the replay because trust me, it's going to be amazing. And you kind of should be here at 12 p.m. noon. So just a reminder, if you haven't been watching this live, the live tapings happen at 12 p.m. every Tuesday. Jump over on our YouTube channel and you can watch the live recording. Come and bring your questions live. Let's dive right into the creators part. So I'm going to start with Keely. Real quick, Keels, what incarnation were you thinking when you guys decided to create this?
Oh, man, I have no idea. I think part of the impetus was that we as a creators group had been working together for several months, probably about 8 at the time that we started talking about this. And, you know, we're always bouncing off ideas and absorbing things that are happening in the creator space. And we were seeing this whole build in public movement and talk about how you're building things in public. And we thought, wait, we're building something. We should bring it to public as well and talk about our process in being a mastermind group. Because we've got a really cool thing going and we want to be able to share it out to the world and see if other people can get inspired to do their thing as well.
Pretty impressive. Now, Alec, this is amazing to me because Alec is working on fumes. He hasn't slept yet. But I just find this part of the conversation funny. So I want to know how you guys settled on the apostrophe outside the S.
We haven't settled on anything of the sort.
Alec!
No, it's just funny. So, no, Alec, what has been the most technically challenging part of putting together a podcast with 5 creators?
Well, just the recording of it and not treading on each other. There's something about like when you're in a natural sort of free-flowing conversation, it's very easy to just sit there and sort of bounce things off one another. But when you're kind of focused on not stepping on top of each other for recordings, that I guess has been the sort of biggest thing. And we've probably just been overthinking it because I think we've got that a bit more in check now. But that was kind of the biggest hurdle, I suppose. Actually, the process of actually recording it as well was, Rich was the one that sort of set all of that up and came up with the idea of how we're actually going to do it because there was a couple of things that we needed to think about there from the recording point of view. So perhaps Rich can fill you in on the approach he came up with for that.
Yeah, shout out to Rich because Rich, man, I mean, he like to coin a term that you say, he bodied that. I mean, it was amazing.
Can I unmute yet? Is it okay?
Okay. Go ahead, Rich. Tell us about how you came up with your process. What exactly is your flow? Yeah, I have to sneak that in. Sorry.
We need 5 separated ISO video files, and everybody has an M1 machine, I think, and I have 2. So my M1 across the room is where I record the whole thing that looks kind of like this with 5 circles in it, and then I actually record on my other machine where I'm sitting at my single file. So, and I use screen sharing on the Mac to control that, start it and stop it and that kind of stuff. And that's it. And then we end up with that master recording of all 5 of us And then we have 5 separate files of each person.
You know, let me dive into that real quick. Here's the power of what's going on in the world today. And a lot of people won't wrap their head around it. There's someone sitting around right now trying to figure out how to do something of this nature. And they're doing it with a older laptop that, maybe they spent, $3,000 on, right? The last Intel machine, if you bought the baseline sort of MacBook Pro at that time was 15 point whatever inches, you would have spent about $27.99, so close to $3,000, right? At this point in time, you could get 3 Mac Minis for $1,800 and build a amazing studio that can do things like have one to record X position on, another thing to do your main show on, and another to control it. So a lot of people probably just need to rethink their approach. And with the resale value on Macs, you could easily sell an Intel notebook right now for at least the $579 it costs to get one M1. And that single M1 will run circles around anything that you're using. And that machine's 2 years old now, so you can even get them cheap because we're pretty sure that the M2 Mac Mini is dropping very soon. I mean, extremely very soon. So if you're struggling with power, do yourself a favor and just double up the machines. I'm running off of 2 machines myself. One's a Mac Studio and one's a baseline Mac Mini.
Well, there's also something to be said for Ecamm itself, because with the new beta, we can get 5 guests. Well, we can get 10, but we can get 5 people on a stream at once, or 6 like we're doing now. You can't do that if you don't have an M1, so.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't want to say that because I don't want to make it look like a commercial, but thanks, Rich. Okay. So, Michelle, I want to ask you a question that is probably the thing that I'm sure a lot of our listeners are going to have on their mind. Scheduling. Like, how do you schedule something like this, especially for you, someone who is basically in a first responder type position and your schedule is insane?
Lots of prayer. So, so scheduling this has been interesting. We pretty much do it at the same time every time, and I've made this time a priority for me. However, I'm on my lunch break, just in case anybody looking. Okay, I'm on my lunch break, so I'm literally hiding in the bathroom. No, so, but yeah, it gets to a point where we agree on a time, and that's it. It's like, all right, this is the time. We communicate a lot, and I made this time a priority for me, so I know exactly what I'm doing every Wednesday at 7 p.m. my time. We're recording this podcast, so it's just making a decision. We just did it. We just said, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is the time we're going to do it, and I show up. So there you have it.
No, I love that. I love that. And I think that's something that people struggle with. And I think in our group, we kind of laugh at the pod fade squad because we are all Band-Aid rippers. We're all just like, rip the Band-Aid, just do it. Like there shouldn't be such a thing as pod fade, but there is, because there are legitimately people who like hit that 7 episode brick wall. You guys just broke 7 episodes, right, Dina?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so you guys already passed pod fade. You already passed pod fade. So I guess for Dina, what is sort of the process in coming up with the topic for the week?
It's been easy because it's just whatever we've been struggling with. It seems that there's 2 of us generally that are working in the same area or having the same questions. So it's, hey, we need to talk about strategy for socials. Yeah, me too. Okay, let's just talk about that one on Wednesday. And it's a slam dunk. So it's really just tossing ideas out and saying, yeah, that's a common problem, or I can add value to that conversation. Let's do that one.
I like the way you say that. Now, here's the thing that you've spoken about. I don't think it's a big deal, but since it's in your head, I want to help you get it out. How would you describe your mental state coming in as a creator on Creators Pod when you self-labeled yourself as a beginning creator?
Oh, by the time we thought of Creators Pod, I was over that.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Sorry, that was a sneaky coach question in the middle of the show.
No, in fact, not to toot my own horn, but this was my idea. I was talking to Keely one night. I'm like, dude, we need to do a podcast. And it was, all right, let's go find the other kids. So
What? Okay.
Who else wants to
I
play?
didn't even know that.
And then we had to launch it the day before Leap. That was the deadline we had. So we had like 5 days to put it together. It worked out great.
Oh, okay. I'm like therapy guy. Let's expound upon that. What made you guys pick Leap as a deadline?
You got to pick one.
We wanted to impress our coach.
Yeah.
Daddy,
Daddy.
Daddy, do you like
Do
what
you
we did,
love us?
Daddy?
I don't have my tissues right now.
It just felt like the right thing to do.
That's pretty impressive.
Right? We were watching the momentum and the conversations, and we talk about trend jacking and how to, get on something that everybody's talking about. That wasn't really the point. It was like, oh, this is something where there's a lot of buzz and a lot of momentum building. And if you believe in it, if you're taking in those messages and saying, I agree with what Doc and Luis and everybody are saying about video podcasting and podcasting in general, well, why wouldn't we? And why wouldn't we take that momentum and set a date on it and just get her done?
I love this. You want to say something, Dina?
no, she said it. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So here's something that I want everyone who is listening to this podcast or everyone who is here for the live taping, I want you to write something down in your notes if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, you should be, even if they're mental notes. At the end of every time you're listening to a podcast or listening to a live stream or watching some sort of training, when you're at the bottom of your notes, leave yourself a single line, or what I like to do is put it at the top. So when I see the note randomly, it's the first thing I see. Put an actionable item on that list. Do not just take a bunch of notes like her name is Keely, her name is Dina, his name is Rich, his name is Alec, her name is Michelle. They're the Creators Pod. They made a podcast. Like if you're taking these notes, that's cool. But the actionable item that like one that I just picked up right now, and it could change, is Keely mentioned when you are listening to these things and you decide to trend jack, give yourself a deadline and go for it. Like they legitimately took all the comments and the vibe around Leap, they turned it into an action item and then they actioned it secretly behind my back. And somehow I didn't know until like episode 3. Let's talk about that.
Well, what had happened was we were saying, you know what? Everybody talking about it. Let's be about it. Okay. So that's basically what we did. We were like, all right, let's do this. How hard can it be? We just all sitting around talking. We do this all the time. We do
How hard
this
can it be?
every
That's
week.
the beginning of every bad story.
Right. And look, we have all this information now that we're sharing with everyone because how hard can it be? Aha. Hold my beer. Let's go.
I think there was also the element of the challenge that we were really going to do this independently. And, you're a fantastic coach and we love working with you, but we also wanted to just have that little bit of separation at the start so that we could really find our own feet and then be like, hi, what do you think?
Not cut the umbilical cord. Oh my goodness.
Plus, when we started this, Doc was MIA a bunch of times, so we had to fill the space doing something.
True that, because I was running around the country hanging out with you and other folks, right? And Keely, actually. So, dude, I just think it's so cool. And here's the thing that I love about the conversation. This is important to me. Whenever your podcast, no matter what your podcast about, this is everyone, you always want to make your listener feel like they're in the room. Now, I have a different advantage because I talk to these people so much that I feel they're in my head all the time. Anyway, sometimes I'm about to do something on Discord and I freak out because I'm like, yo, if I mess this up, Keely's going to curse me out. So like I'm sitting there hedging my bets about what I should be doing. So I already have that thing. But when I'm listening to you guys, I'm in my kitchen, I'm doing something, or I'm, driving around in the car with Bob's, and I am legit talking to you guys. And it's funny to me because one of the things I always say to her is that Dina can't hear you yelling at the TV, right? Because she's watching Dina stream. She's telling Dina don't drink and then cut vegetables because she might cut her finger. And I swear to you, 10 minutes later, Dina nipped off her finger. And then mother-in-law is like, see, I told you, Dina. And then so I'm yelling at you guys in the car, and she just looking at me like, oh, okay, pot kettle, what's up with that? You know? So I love the way that you find a way to bring people in. Intentional, or are you just having a conversation with yourself knowing that there's another you somewhere else?
I think we're just talking the way we often do, anyway. That's the thing about it, is I think that comes across in it, just because that's what we've been doing for months anyway, is just all getting together and sharing our thoughts, our mistakes, things we're thinking about, and things we're trying out, basically. And so, yeah, it's just, that was the point of it, really, was to open the door to let other people in on that, because let everyone else learn from our mistakes as well.
It is super organic conversation, and Rich is always the voice of reason in any conversation. So, do you ever feel, Rich, like that if you throw the voice of reason monkey wrench, like if it's going to throw things off, or is it just you're just being Rich?
I guess I don't know what you mean. Am I really the voice of reason?
Yeah, well, because all right, everybody will be talking about something, and you have maybe it's from experience from being a graphic designer, but you have a good way of thinking of the other possibilities, right? And maybe that's something, because as designers, we're always doing iterations, and you'll often throw the different point of view, or you'll just catch things that I think other people don't see, and that leads to really epic turns in the show. So I was wondering if you did it on purpose, or is that just naturally?
I guess it's a natural thing, because I still don't know what you're talking about. Our conversations are pretty organic. Like last night, 12 hours ago, we were all on Discord, and we all just happened to show up at the same time with you. And while we were, I forgot what we were doing, but we're in 4 time zones in the North America and another time zone on the other side of the planet. So it's kind of weird that we keep bumping into each other. So because we're really on different schedules.
It's almost like we've been doing it for 10 months now, and we're just continuing to do it.
Another what had happened was I heard the ding, 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 that sound that you hear when there's a notification. I'm like, ooh, who in there? Oh, Doc in there? Okay, hold up. Let me go ahead and get in there. What up, Sensei? What's up? Well, how you doing? Next thing you know, Rich pulls up. Or no, Alec pulls up. It was Alec pulled up. We're just sitting there just shooting the breeze, just talking, what we always do. And then they're like, hey, everybody else, look, come on over. We having a little party. And we just, it just happens organically all the time for us. And it's really nice that, it blossomed into what you see today. So
I think it is extremely helpful. And yes, Rich, it is naturally you. I kind of knew that, but I just wanted to make sure anybody listening would know whether you guys do everything completely organically or whether there's any sort of drive to go to a particular place. That was more the question. But yeah, that is naturally you.
The only thing, a lot of these people here, except for me, are scared of Keely, but I'm not. So I'll tell her. I'll tell her no apostrophe.
And he'll still be wrong. This is the best part.
I like the thing that you said, Michelle, about the notification and sort of how we all get together. And I would tell anybody who's doing any type of creative work that one of the best things you could do is get in here it comes. And I'm not even trying to pull a buck here. Get in a creators pod. Like, find a group of creators that you align with and find ways to work together. Because I tell you what was really funny about our conversation yesterday while we were in the Discord, for about the last hour and a half, we weren't even talking. Everybody was working on their own thing. And then I think Rich or Alex said, hey, I got to go to bed. I'll see you guys. And somebody said, I forgot all you guys were here. Like, you're just working with your friends. Like
That was Rich.
You're just doing your thing. You completely forget. And then I was just like, bye, Keely, and hung up real quick. I did the Irish goodbye before she asked me anything because it was time to go. But it was just the time. And I see the message later that, it's just a little wave. So getting in a pod where you can work together, probably one of the best things you can do for your mental sanity. I don't mind have to say nothing, but if I want to, I'll say something or crack a joke, or, they'll see me, hitting the Tutankhamun, as Diana calls it. I keep it, right here on the desk. Like I'm going to take a shot right in the middle of working. But it's very, very helpful, I think. I guess one other question I would sort of like to ask anyone, where do you feel is the future of creating right now? I mean, independent, I guess everyone can answer. What do you feel is the future of content creating right now? We'll start with Keely.
Oh, great. I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear what everybody else has to say. I think it goes back to what I mentioned earlier, the building in public notion. So we talk about how organic videos and reels do really well. I don't think it's the rough and ready part about it that anybody likes. Nobody likes bad audio. Nobody likes shaky video. What they like is the fact that they're getting a real insight into what that person is actually like and what their actual life is doing. So I think we're doing that in a meta way about being a group together. But for all of us, I think we're going to keep sort of stripping back to this is what the behind the scenes, this is the real life stuff that's happening. And yeah, building in public is going to be the big one.
All right, Rich.
I think it's all, well, I have a different perspective than these guys because I have a real life job and I'm doing this creator stuff to promote a business. So it's different. I don't know. It's different for me than everybody else. I'm just trying to go where the attention is. If somebody said, "Oh, now you need to be on Be Real," I would probably figure out a way to do that. I don't think I need to do that, but who knows what's going to happen in a week or even in a day, what the next big thing is. But you've got to get on it. I kind of follow Gary Vee around, and he just tells me where to go, and I do that.
Smart man. Miss Dina.
Creating for the people that are coming in for you, so your community. I think that's what's going to be part of the success for us.
Very good. Yeah, I think so, especially for this particular show. The show that you guys are doing is exactly, it fits creators in that nature. Mr. Alec.
In terms of like the future direction of content creation as a whole thing, I've got no idea really, but I'm just going to try whatever is the way that it's going at the time. So that's my whole thing. I'll just try everything and then fall flat on my face and share it with all of these guys.
Nice. And Michelle, what about you?
Alec, you just said something, journey. The journey is not necessarily, whatever's out there. The journey is just ours. It just happens to be, a nurse in Atlanta, a dude in Texas, a chick in Canada, another chick in Washington, and then another dude in Thailand trying to figure some stuff out. And that's, to me, I think that is the best part of, being, having bird's eye view, looking in and seeing what they're doing, and then seeing what we're doing together as a group and how our synergy just kind of like flows. See what I did there?
See, I thought you meant took a midnight train going anywhere. Sorry. Anyway, wrong journey. I think here's the thing, and Rich touched on it a little bit, and so did Alec. I think one of the most important things that people should understand is when something new comes out. I know there's this fear of going into the unknown, but that's when the real estate is the cheapest, right? Anybody that came to California like in the very beginning and set up land, you probably shouldn't have done so because it didn't belong to you. But anyway, if you set up land, that land is worth bank right now, right? Some of the best land is when nothing else was there. In every city, every country, every piece of software, people that have early domains that came out back in 94 when it was primarily text, those domains are worth so much money right now because of longevity. I was on Instagram day one, and like people feel like, oh, well, I don't know if I should be creating on TikTok right now because they got a bunch of little stories about themselves. I guarantee you, everyone listening to this show, everyone here on this pod, you can ask that same person. So like, oh man, how's your son David doing? Oh my God, David, I'm so irritated with him. Why? All he does is look at his phone. He's on TikTok like 8 hours a day, blah, da, 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 da. And I'm like, did you just hear yourself? What? You just said you don't want to put your business on TikTok. And the same breath, you complained about how long your son be on TikTok. Yeah. I just wanted to let that sink in real quick. So whenever something new comes out, like Rich said, right? Be real. I don't really need a Be Real account, but you just make one, you block it, you hold it. And the minute you even think there's traction, start working on it, because it's nice to be in that first mover position. When everybody else starts coming in, you already have prime real estate. The other thing is, the minute they get over a couple million people on the platform and they turn on their advertisement is cheap on those channels. So if you're growing anything, you got to be willing to take that dive. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate what you guys all said there. I think that can bring a lot of value, because even right now, I guarantee you there's someone listening to this and they're still thinking about their podcast, and they're hearing that podcast in the pandemic before 750, now close to 4 million. Oh, it's too late to start a podcast. No. Get at it. Get at it now. Get at it now while the getting is hot. Okay, so I guess the last thing, and I love, it's one of my favorite questions. I'm going to ask it for you guys. What is the question that no one is asking you right now that you wish more people would ask? Anyone?
I'm surprised people haven't reached out and asked us how to form their own.
Yeah.
How we found each other.
Good one.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of applause, but not a lot of people, and everybody's saying, oh, this looks so valuable and it looks so great. And it's like, okay, let me tell you how to do it, especially on Discord.
Here's what's powerful about what you just said, Dina. There are quilting circles. Okay, they get together all the time. They make quilts. Then pandemic hit. There's people that have virtual quilting circles. So there's quilting circles just like us, with a creator in each individual portion of the planet, and they could still get together and work on their stuff and have these stories and just press record, and it would be valuable for someone else to sit in and listen, right? If we were to sit down and do a live quilting circle, I can't sew at all. I think Michelle can, though. I think we could have fantastic conversations and help people out, because someone is sitting in the house by themselves and they would enjoy that. They would pull their gear out and start, sewing right along with you as they're listening to what you're talking about, right? Anybody want to expound on that?
One of my favorite pastimes is making jewelry. And I started my live streaming career selling all kinds of stuff on another channel. And I really, really want to dive back into that DIY, make your thing together. It's just very peaceful for me. It's very cathartic for me. And I remember when the pandemic hit, the first responders, we couldn't get masks and things like that we needed. We needed PPE and stuff like that. And people, strangers from everywhere, they were like making masks and doing things and then showing up to the hospitals and giving them to us. And that was so amazing. One night I was like, you know what? I've got fabric. I know how to sew. Let's do this. And one night, over a bottle of wine, a sewing machine, and some fabric, we made masks together live. And it was so much fun, because while I was working and just talking, they were talking back to me, and we developed something. And so I really, oh my God, I want to get back to doing things like that. And it's part of the creative process for me, but then also telling stories, and we get to hear each other's stories, and we can relate to other people and they can relate to us. I just think that is the meat and potatoes of what we're doing, is basically sharing what we do with the world, and then having other people relate to us, and we grow. So I don't know. I don't know. This has just been a really great thing for me creatively. We're doing digital stuff, but at the same time, if you're a person that likes to create with your hands, hey, this could be something that you could do too. Of course, hanging out with us, we'll figure out how to light it and how to show it and how to do all the things so that you can share it. But I just love it.
Fantastic answer, because I can just see the visual of people sitting around doing something positive. They got their hands in, they're working, and know they're helping people out. That's one of my favorite things. So I can just see the visual of people sitting around, busting a trying to get this out. So super, super impressive. I guess the big question I'm sure a lot of people have on their mind. Rich, as a person who's pulling all of this stuff together, what do you see is the biggest challenge in sort of the editing process or getting a finished product out?
Just finding the time to do it, because we're 2 weeks ahead. So we're, I've got plenty of time to work it in. It doesn't take that long once you get all the files loaded up, and I do all my editing in Premiere, and then we do a multicam. I nest them all together and do a multicam so I could switch. And it took a few weeks to work that out. And then once I figured out the workflow, it's pretty easy. And it takes about an hour and a half, I guess, to go through the whole thing. Once it's all synced up, depending on how quality the audio is, whether Alec gives me a file with everybody's voice or just his, that kind of thing. We got to work around some issues sometimes. But it's not that big a deal to process it. But everybody's got to do their own part. Somebody does a thumbnail, somebody does a description.
I was just getting ready to ask that question. So how's the division of labor look, Keels?
Everybody else is doing lots of work. Okay, I'm getting there. So we did want to make it as equitable as we could, but also pull on the different, real skill sets that everybody has. And obviously Rich, having done podcasts for a long time and knowing Captivate inside and out and Adobe Premiere and things like that, he was a natural fit as the editor. And now we've got, Dina is doing descriptions because language is one of her biggest skill sets. Michelle is doing she's doing titles and those things. Alec's doing thumbnails, and my job is going to be the repurposing. So getting some quick nibbles to everybody so we can start spraying those out on all of our socials, as well as the Creator Pod socials.
Keely elected herself our Twitter account social media manager as well this week. So
yes, I did
Nice.
do that, didn't I? Yes.
It's like a creator's Voltron, if you will. Now, with that in mind, how does the cross training look, or have you guys started working on the cross training just in case, I don't know, Alec, they changed the laws in Thailand. So what if Alec, just can't do his part one week because he's faded?
We haven't done anything about that at the moment. At the moment, we're just sort of getting into a rhythm of doing the bits that we have said we're going to do. The other thing that we're, I think, pretty good at is not trying to do everything by committee. So, I don't sort of chip in and say, oh, I'm not really keen on that title or that description because it's not my area. And I'm very happy and trust all of these people more than enough to just say, I'm good with whatever you're doing. So that's a big part of the group in general, really, is that we have got that really sort of deep trust for one another as well. And that goes for what we're doing as the Creators Pod, but it also goes for actually being in a mastermind. It's so valuable to have that trust for one another and knowing that when people are calling you out on something, you know that it's coming from a place of love, but you also know that they, you trust their opinion on it as well.
Is that because you lost the battle with the apostrophe?
I haven't lost that battle yet. I'm still fighting.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. The most important thing, and I swear I've brought this up before, I just want to hammer the point home. When you get into becoming a creator, the most important thing you can do as a creator is to put the ego in a steel box, lock it down tight, wrap it with 3 chains, then place that inside of a bucket, fill it with 5 pounds of concrete, and drop it at the bottom of the nearest ocean.
Along with the apostrophe.
Along with the apostrophe. Right? And now, so what does that look like? I don't have an ego, blah, blah. Yeah, you do. You know how I know you have an ego? Because when somebody says something stupid about you in the comments, you freak out. Why? Because your ego is hurt. So throw the ego away when somebody says, you stupid bald mother. I'm like, yes, and just keep going. I think that's the one part of the ego throwaway that people don't get. If you throw the ego away for real, comments shouldn't faze you because you don't have any ego for it to affect, right? So you heard it first. Throw the ego away, and then that allows you to probably pull out some of your best stuff.
And it's not just about comments, because people can say what they want. Their opinion is not your responsibility in that respect. But it's about when you've got an idea about something, and then somebody challenges you on it in a very positive way, saying, "Well, have you thought about this other way of doing it?" trying to drop the ego then. Obviously, apostrophes aside, I'm standing firm on that one. But it's that point though of being open to another viewpoint, and I think everyone in the group is very, very good at that.
That is amazing. All right, man. This has been super dope. I think it's extremely insightful. Number one, let me say, you guys caught me completely by surprise. So the first day you guys told me, I was like, what? Oh, okay. And then I don't even think I understood. I think I thought I heard what you said, but I think I didn't really understand. And I said, you know what? Let me listen to these bad boys. So I binged them in like a single day. And I was like, holy God, this is so good. I'm like fully yelling at the podcast. I'm yelling at Keely. I'm yelling at you guys. You guys are on some topic about, sort of whole Twitter situation. And then I'm yelling. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Or no, that's not right. That's not how you do it. Blah, blah, blah. And then so the minute you find yourself yelling at any program, they got you. Like they legitimately got you, whether it's from a positive statements or negative statements or whatever, like they got you. And I'll say, first of all, it's all positive. Like, I really love what you guys are doing. And I really do, and I can't say this enough, I really do enjoy feeling like I am the sixth wheel, And actually, the last Goofing Around on Alec's channel episode, I actually had a chance to come in and talk with you guys. And that, again, it's a very amazing setup. So nothing but the best for you guys. And I guess any last advice you want to give to anyone here in the Flow Rider crew? Actually, let's take a piece of advice from each of you because I want to give you a chance to say your goodbyes. So give your advice and then tell people how they can find you. Let's start with Dina.
I'm going to go with something along the lines of checking your ego at the door, but it's take pride in what you do, but don't take it personally.
Ooh,
and you can find me at Silver Lining Home Place on Instagram and YouTube.
Dang, take pride in what you do, but don't take it personal. Sorry, musical Tourette's. Rich.
I think everybody's got something to bring to the table. Whether you think you do or you don't, you probably do. So whatever talent you have is probably valuable to 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 other people. So, you can do your part to make something like this go forward. And you can reach me at big promotions everywhere.
Nice. Mr. Alec.
I guess sort of on a similar line to that, like everyone's got something to bring to the table. What we've got as well that is that we all had in common was that we were all looking to treat our content creation as a business. And so that's why we sort of formed this as well. We're all doing very different things. We've all got different backgrounds, different types of channels and all that kind of thing. But the one thing that you sort of was common was, we are taking this absolutely seriously to become a revenue generating business in all of our individual sort of things that we're doing. So if someone's looking to create a similar sort of pod themselves, make sure that everyone has got that single sort of driving purpose as well, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be, making a business out of content creation, but making sure there is something at the core that everyone is driving towards. So that's what I would say about that. And you can find me at Take One Tech everywhere.
Yeah, exactly everywhere. Like legitimately. Okay, Michelle, how say you?
Oh my goodness. This has been amazing. And I think the one thing I would say would be to be open. Be open to the possibility of what could be. Don't feel like you know it all, because trust, you don't. And I think being open to, all the possibilities, being open to direction, and just being ready when opportunity strikes is 100% 100% legit. So you can find me everywhere at LBC Branding.
Nice. I love that because opportunity will strike. Like it's coming. Opportunity's always striking, and most people just miss it because they're so busy complaining about the last opportunity that they missed. So while you're complaining about the last one you missed, you're missing the next one. Like opportunities are like the L train. It's coming. Just be there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Or maybe actually the F train's a little less psycho. Maybe we should take the F train. Never mind. It's a New York thing. And the person all the way from the North America, Miss Keels. Like, how see you?
A lot of us are a part of various coaching programs or we have mentors. And we get a lot from this and we think, what can we give back to our mentors? One of the things you can do is action what they've done in a way that multiplies what you've learned. So one of the things that we're enjoying about this process of building our mastermind in public is that we can teach as well and share what we've learned from you and from other sources and multiply that out. That's why we're all here. That's really why we're doing what we're doing, is so that it's not just a one-to-one, it's one to a few, it's one to a bunch, to more, to more, to more, to more. Okay, we are building, literally building. So don't just sit back and keep it to yourself. In the process of creation, you are going to be able to encourage other people to do their creation as well. So get to it.
Man, it's so dope you said that, because I actually have this written down in my notes to talk about in our session today on my stream, is that complacency is the framework of excuses. And then so considering that, yes, we are moving and we're moving at a pace, and, you know, we're in our pod, we're doing our thing, and in a way to make sure that we kept the momentum flowing, we kind of had it behind a rock for a minute. Okay. And what I like is it's not for me to decide. And you guys told me from the gate when we built this, hey, you're coach, but we will decide when we're ready to open the door and let everybody in. You did it. I had no clue. And then my first response was, are y'all finna let this out to the world? And you was like, gangster. I was like, all right, let's go. We cool with it, right? So the thing that is so valuable in that is we could have just kept working at what we're doing, and everybody was moving. But even when you're moving, sometimes you got to assess, can I move more? What I feel happens to a lot of people, creators, business folks, parents, just individuals by themselves, is you're operating at what you think is 100%. And then the coach will come in and say, give me 110. And your mouth will say, but I can't do 110. Most people. But the select few of us, we're like, 110? Yeah, let me show you 120. And you start cranking and you come in at 108. But that's okay. It's better than the one you were sitting at. You see what I'm saying? So you guys, by adding Keely's famous line, like I had, like I needed to add one more thing for me to do. I think that's the way she phrases it. Right? So you went and made this, even though every single one of us, everybody watching us would say those guys are like slam busy, and you will find the time if you want to. Let's just understand that. That is just the way it is. You will find the time if you want to. So I thank you guys for being that inspiration. I think you guys, thank you guys again for understanding that you have more to give, and you didn't allow complacency just because we're quote unquote hashtag winning stop you from trying to do more. And in this case, actually give back. And that's where you find yourself excelling. That's for everyone listening, everyone watching, and the 5 of you. By you guys deciding to share what you're doing, what you're going through, you are giving back, and you're teaching other creators, apostrophe outside the S, how to become better creators. And for that, I thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys make me look good. I'm just saying. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I was already cute, but now I look extra cute. Like I got my hair did. Anyway, Flow Riders, that wraps up another edition. We're going to go into Q&A right now. I just want to remind every single one of you, on behalf of the Creators Pod, make sure you check that out. The links for their show will be in all kind of descriptions. So just go and find it. You can just go Creators Pod. You don't have to put the apostrophe on YouTube. It'll come up. If you're listening to this, it's in the description. Just click the link. Save yourself the trouble. You can reach us again any given time at flow@ecamm.com. Check us out. Come and hang out. Be a part of the party. And hey, I'm just saying, it's fantastic. We're going to go into the Q&A section right now. Before we go into the Q&A, and a quick reminder, we do record this live every Tuesday. That is every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. noon Eastern. as we're doing the recording. Come and watch us, come and ask your questions, come and be a part of the show. Or if you want to be a part of the show, drop us a line in our many forms of communications and we will see what we can do to get you started. And honestly, the volley is probably one of the best ones because you can just leave a video and that's it. So quick reminder, as a thank you for really helping us put this show together, we got to send much love out to the Speedify squad. I don't know what they're doing for Black Friday, but honestly, you don't need a sale. If you have family members, if you are the nerd of your family, look at giving Speedify away to everyone for Christmas, right? I mean, first of all, it's very inexpensive, and the VPN side of it alone will protect your family members for some of the craziness that's going on. I swear to you, when you go to do a bank transaction or whatever, you can just tell them to have the Speedify box checked, and then Paw pay your bills. Right? Do your banking transactions, make sure you're adjusting the wheel so that I'm at the top, but you want to do that online with Speedify turned on, because besides being a way to protect your connection when you're doing something incredible like this, a live stream with 5 people from all over the world, Speedify can also protect your bacon with your security. So make sure you go over to speedify.com and check it out. And just tell them Doc Rock sent you. It was a prescription. I prescribe Speedify. It'll be probably one of the best gifts that you'll ever give. And trust me, they might not thank you for it, but you would thank yourself for it when they call you up and be like, hey, all of a sudden I can't do my computer because all these things keep popping up. And you would have been like, hey, see? You blocked yourself from having a problem later. There you go. There you go. Let's dive into Q&A. The rest of you people listening at home, we will see you next week here on The Flow.